I'll tell you somebody who is an amateur at best and who, frankly, is conducting himself in such a way that he just gives away the game, that he is an opportunist of the worst kind, and his intention is to stir up so much anger and vitriol, unlike Tucker Carlson, that he wants to see violence done because, A, he's probably a Fed, B, because he hates himself and he wants to see the world burn. Who else could I possibly be talking about than Nick Fuentes?
So sick of sharing a country with people that hate us. I get the same feeling when I see Mark Levin. I get the same feeling when I see Randy Fine and the rest of them, Roseanne Barr, as I do when I see Hassan Piker and Ilhan Omar. These people, they all hate us. Mark Levin goes up on stage and breathes fire about how much he hates anti-Semites and wants to destroy America first. So does Ilhan Omar. She gets up and she can barely conceal or veil her hatred of white people. And you got white piece of shit leftists like Ryan Grimm saying she's a girl boss.
See, unlike you, Ryan Grimm is an actual journalist who does work, and Ilhan Omar, despite the fact that she is 5 feet nothing and 90 pounds soaking wet, would probably kick your ass in an actual fistfight. Nick Fuentes is also pretty short. I don't know if people know that or not, but I've seen enough pictures of him, especially next to Andrew Tate, Myron Gaines, when they went to that club in Miami. Yeah, his stature's not too big. So, overcompensation? Perhaps. But in this case, he is pushing a nativist angle that is deeply rooted, not just in bigotry, but in anger and violence and othering. But here's why he's not going to be completely off-putting to a lot of people. Because he mentions the Zio scum. He mentions Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, Randy Fine. Couples them in with somebody like Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Ryan Grimm, and on we go, even Hassan Piker. And ostensibly saying, why don't we just get rid of all of them? Let's just kick them all out. Let's not even ask questions. And there are way too many people who are just going to say, okay, I can accept that. I don't really believe it, but if that's what it's going to take to get rid of the Zio scum, I guess we're just going to have to make some sacrifices. Now, thankfully, he comes off like a fool, but he has more to say.
You get Hassan Piker saying abolish ICE. Fuck them both. This is my most popular program. Take all the Mamdanis, the Omars, the Tlaibs, and take all the Shapiros and the Fines and the Loomers and the Levins. Take them all, get them together, get them all together, put them on a boat, and get them the fuck out of our country.
Who says that this is your country to decide? That's the part that I'm still trying to understand. Who died and made you little king for a day? The crown would probably sink you into the ground. But I got to tell you, and it's perfect timing, I got to tell you, little Nicky, you're starting to whine like a little bitch, like little Ben Shapiro. I mean, let's be honest. All you're doing is complaining about everybody. And yet your last name is Fuentes. I mean, aren't you Mexican? You think because you are a white skin tone that just makes you an exception? I don't know. Yeah. Well, in honor of Catherine O'Hara, we summoned Lil Ben for a moment. But again, little Nicky here, he's trying to project masculine strength, but he doesn't really have any. So what does he do? Last I heard, he's calling out a bunch of people that, as far as I can tell, kind of have a bigger ball sack than he does, and that includes the women as well.
Get them all out. I don't care what it is. Jews, Muslims, third worldist Muslims, Zionist Jews, all the Shapiros, the Levins, the Mamdanis, the Omars, all these people that can't conceal their hatred for whites that built this country, all these people that want to put every other race, every other nationality ahead of America. Let's just kill two birds with one stone and let's deport all of them. That's my program. You have left-wing people that say, no, keep the Somalians, open the borders. Dearborn is actually a great place, Habibi. Nah, fuck all that. And then you get the Israelis that say, deport the Muslims. Muslims are the problem. But leave us alone in our communities where we're doing the exact same thing.
So as you can see, he is doing exactly what I've been saying he's been doing for a long time, which is he's using the power vacuum that is being created by the Zio scum to enact his agenda, which is completely bigoted in every conceivable way. So, which is why I have been trying to point out for the longest time that when Shapiro does his thing and creates the hostility surrounding himself and Zionist Jews at large, of which, again, I don't think that they should be in this country. I think they're as anti-American as they get. And yet, what does Shapiro think? Or in this case, what does Fuentes think? Fuentes has opened up the floodgates. He's opened up the floodgates because he knows that with people demanding this type of systemic change, and if he grabs power, they might just accept his nativist ideology of let's just remove everybody who doesn't look like me and my cohorts. I mean, that's what it sounds like. Whatever happened to judging people not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character? Nick Fuentes just frankly hates himself. That's what I believe. Very angry young man. And as Jen said, he doesn't have any character. He doesn't. And that is why he goes on rants like this, complaining about what should this country look like. It's not for you to decide. But if people want to continue listening to him and taking his advice, we will never do away with the Zio state because guys like Fuentes, who likely is intelligence, gives them all the cannon fodder they need to create a defense shield so that people do not actually move forward with an agenda that is legitimately anti-Israel. So that's why he needs to be called out. And he has a little bit more to say.
You know what? Our patience has had its limits, okay? Our patience is at the limit with all of these alien tribes inside of our country. Who is going to raise up the flag for Christ? Who is going to raise up the flag for the white man? Who will raise up the flag for the United States of America? For once, instead of a hammer and sickle, Islamic crescent, a fucking Star of David, the UN flag. It's really, we have to embrace the right wing. We have to embrace the far right because the far right is the only side that is exclusionary to all of these harmful interests.
And there it is. You have to embrace the far right, the crazies. That's the solution. Yes, that's what it is. That I had no idea. Let's just lose our minds. And let's let, again, it's not enough. It's just not enough. Let's just have a standing militant army in the streets. Somebody like Nick gets his way, that's what'll happen. And again, this is why we call him out, because he's a goddamn fool. And he is somebody who, unfortunately, is speaking for a lot of angry and depressed and dangerous people out there. So when you think about what could happen if those that are groypers decide to take his rhetoric and advice too far, what could happen? If our channel were to evolve into something like his channel, we would get taken down immediately because we're not protected. But the reason he gets away with this language, the reason why he gets away with this idea of a race war, is because he has to be protected. There is no other explanation. You cannot do what he did on January 6th and not even get a slap on the wrist. Not with all the feds that were in the crowd that day, and nothing ever happened to them. Jesus will be in ICE detention rather than be an ICE agent. Like, that's good. And that, in my opinion, is exactly why he has ended up where he's ended up. He's gained a lot of power and a lot of influence, but it is imperative that people see through it for what it really is. We as a country are falling apart because the powers that be have manipulated us into such a position that now there is a level of desperation from certain people at the top who know that the party's ending. And that's why the Epstein files come out, because eventually there are those who are smart enough to recognize that, look, I had nothing to do with this. I know about it. I have to do something because it's like a bubble that's going to burst if we don't. It's the same thing with the economy. It's the same thing with the political arena. We are living in a revolutionary period. It hasn't officially, I wouldn't even say that it hasn't started. I would say that the evolution in terms of where it will go is nowhere near what it is capable of becoming. But it can really take off in a big way.